bitches. But let me go ahead and optimize this while I'm here so you guys can actually see me. Mm. Don't think anyone can see me on here yet. Or maybe they can. No, they can't. I'm unlisted. Boom. Boom. Publish. Boom. Monetize. And there we go. I'm here. Well, until people come in, I am going to watch TV, YouTube. May as well watch the thing that pays me. I'll if you hear me. Okay, not Game, House of the Dragon. Is it 3? Looks like it's going to be lit. Season 2 was pretty bad because that was the build up before the war. But yeah, season 3 look like it's going to be pretty good. I don't tell you now, spoiler for people who didn't watch Game of Thrones. 11 years ago, but 11 years ago, they already told what's going to happen at the end of the movie. Um, uh, Queen, what's her name? Um, is going to win, but she's going to be killed by a dragon. So, yeah. Yeah.
The crown is a weight that crushes. Will do things that spell death for all involved.
You know what? Should I put it? Nah, I'm not gonna even put in my. I was gonna put in my earbuds, but I don't need to. I only need to wear those like when I'm doing my interviews or whatever. Put this. Should I put this up? Oh, let me also turn on it. Fix the chat filter. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, cool.
Come so far.
Tony, Lene. This is hi guys, how things? Well, it's only us here. Well, no, I guess it's 4 of us here now, but I'm doing well.
Bring Egon. The usurper. To me.
This is my live stream. People can ask me questions if they want. If not, I'm chilling like a villain. Is this a eye lemon? Let me put on my glasses. Yeah, I was right. I dash lemon. Yeah, what's up? People want to ask me questions, go right on
Last year's
ahead.
vacation was a lot. This year, we're doing it all at Main Event. We feasted.
So I think I'm just
we
gonna
were
chill,
in the zone.
just
All
like
play
this.
activities and an entree for $29.99, plus a $10 game card for free.
That the original show helped create. Esther Perel.
Can you please do the hiccups, please, and thank you.
And women are
Fuck
the
no.
primary market for that product. The feelings
What the fuck are you
are
talking
real.
about?
The
Do the hiccups?
exploitation of those feelings is also real.
Motherfucker, I ain't doing no fucking hiccups like I'm some. What the fuck is? Go take your foreign ass somewhere else, cause you must be some little foreign Indian fuck or something. Go to fuck somewhere else with that bullshit. Fuck you think I'm gonna do some hiccups? Nigga, drop some motherfucking money. Where? Hit my super chat. Hit my cash app. Before you ask me to do some dumbass shit. Anyway, I'm about to go. I'm gonna ignore you and keep watching my TV.
It was not entertainment. It was advertising and social engineering.
Don't ask
disguised
for
as
anyone. Don't ask me to do a
aspirational
motherfucking
content
thing unless you
designed to
dropping
break up
something
the
in
household
the super
unit
chat.
and redirect female
You got
spending
nothing
toward
coming
things
unless
that
you
generate
dropping in
revenue
the
for
super
everyone,
chat.
except the woman buying them. The show came back under a different name, and just like that, all the women were single again.
I will answer questions,
drama,
but don't
consumer
ask me to
products and
perform any
experiences
fucking
to
thing.
fill the gap that
And
the
you not
original
dropping
show
in the
helped
super chat.
create. Esther Perel called it romantic consumerism, and women are the primary market for that product. The feelings are
Shout
real.
out to
The exploitation of those
Manosphere
feelings
Highlights
is also
Daily.
real. And until women can distinguish between the two, the emotional capitalism machine keeps running.
I would like to do that with him.
That's
I want
your
to stay
choice.
with him, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I
when,
want to feel safe.
so when the Google comes up, no, safe, you have to take risks. You don't have to be safe.
Maybe
You have
that's
to
the
be
problem.
safe, but at this moment, it's about taking risks. It's the risk of allowing yourself to be
Call
different
ice on
with
your
him
dumbass.
and to allow him to be different with you.
Asking me some
It's the
retarded
risk
ass
to
shit.
say we're going to have a second relationship with each other.
I ain't doing
It's
shit.
the risk
I ain't
that
doing
when
shit
the
for a motherfucker
grudge
for
comes
free.
up to look at it
Better
and
go
say,
at,
you know
better
what,
hit my
I
motherfucking
really
super
don't feel
chat.
like dealing with you today.
Asking me some goddamn
And
retarded
we're not
ass
invited
questions.
here. We're having a nice moment, and you're coming in and you're kind of reminding me and poisoning my everyday life.
Fucking faggot.
Please go and take a break for a minute,
Mm.
and you just talk to the grudge. It's you and your inner voice saying, "I'm not going to let you rule my relationship.
Tony
You're a
Lene
small
is a
part of
faggot.
our life."
Don't ask me any fucking
And
dumbass
you
questions
said
like
we
that
are
ever
going
again.
to
Drop a super chat before
prevent
you
us
ask
from
me any
having any
motherfucking
future
thing.
if you continue. I mean, I'm holding it up because it's like you look at it. Sometimes I think people should have like
Missy from
finger
Brooklyn saying
puppets.
hello. What's up, Missy from the BK? What's
And then you
popping?
name it, you give it a name,
What's
that
going
part
on?
of you that holds you back, that part of you that wants revenge, that part of you that feels that no amount of apology and recognition will ever be enough.
Yeah, because he really has. He's
Yes.
over the last
I think my
2
sister
It
moved
sounded
back to
like
Brooklyn
it.
too.
It sounded
I
like
think
it. And it's like
she was
it's
living
like
there with my
if I accept
well,
your
both of my younger
apology,
sisters, but
all
she was
my
living there with
suffering
my
was
baby
for nothing.
sister,
Mm.
and then they both
And in
moved
order
back to
to
Maryland.
give it its
The
proper
baby
respect,
sister got
I have
married.
to constantly reject
Then
your,
the other
your-
youngest
your-
that was
hold
living
on
with
to
her,
yes, holding.
Hold on to it.
I don't know
'cause
what
that
she was
makes me
doing,
feel
but she's
good.
still single.
Makes
And I
you
think
feel
she
good.
moved back.
Holding on to
to
it makes you
Brooklyn.
feel good.
And
Makes you feel
if you
powerful.
don't
I
go
think she,
wrong,
at least
then
New
you're
York,
saying
but I think
to
she
him that
moved
what
back
he
to
did
Brooklyn.
wasn't so bad after all.
And then she and my
And it can be forgiven.
baby sister were living together when my
It's
baby
just,
sister was going
You know, it
to
poisons us. I mean, it has
to
a
college,
logic, but it poisons us.
what's that
When
college?
you learn
Saint,
how to like have
I think it was in
disagreements with a
Queens. Saint,
partner, I feel like a lot of people don't
thank
want to
thank
put
you,
in
Haley
that work. Do you feel like people are
Bieber
giving
dash
up
C
on
7J
relationships
for
too
the
quickly and like
for the
getting
super
the ick
GIF.
and being like, that
Thanks.
person did that one thing. I
Yeah,
don't want
they
to continue with
what-
this.
what-
Do
I
you
think she,
people
yeah,
aren't,
she went
like,
to St.
waiting
John's
to be in
College.
relationships
Shout out
anymore?
to St. John's
Before we let
College.
Esther
She
respond
didn't want to
this,
go
let
to
me make sure
to
everyone in
University
this
of Maryland
audience
because I went
understands
there, and
exactly
then my
what
other
the
two
ick
younger
is,
sisters went there.
because
So
this
we're a
term
legacy.
gets thrown
So
around
now our
casually,
family is a
and the
legacy
casual
there. So if our
framing
kids
hides how revealing it actually
decide
is.
to go
The
there,
ick
they
is
will
when
be
a woman
legacy
suddenly
students.
finds a man repulsive after previously
And I have
being
donated
attracted
to the
him.
college
One
too. So
small thing flips a switch, and the
definitely my
attraction
kid would be a
disappears
legacy student.
completely and irreversibly. It became a
But
massive TikTok
well, when
trend
I have a
with
kid, I don't
women
have one
proudly
yet.
listing what gives them the
But
ick. A man
yeah,
waving at a boat,
shout out to
a man
Brooklyn.
being too eager, a man running funny, a man caring too much. Read that
I
last
don't even
one
know
again.
what that
A man
is about. I
caring
don't know if
too
that's
much
supposed to be
gives women the
lotion
ick.
or
The
soap or
same women
whatever,
who will
but
tell you they want a man
the
who is
joke went over
emotionally
my head.
available,
So
present,
if you
and invested
want some,
are broadcasting
if you
on
want some
social
sort of
media that
ha-ha
a man
jokey
caring
type
too
stuff,
much makes
it
them
went over my
physically
head.
repulsed. That contradiction is not a bug in the system. It is the system. And Esther Perel, as a psychotherapist who has spent 20 years sitting across from these women, is
And
about
these other
to tell
questions
you
I'm just gonna
exactly
fucking
what that
ignore.
means clinically. Let her cook.
I think we live in a culture of premature rejection. And a part of this is because
I don't answer retarded questions. Sorry. If you gonna say if you gonna ask me something retarded, I'm not even responding unless you drop in a super chat.
For a soulmate on an app, and you also are constantly thinking that there may be better soulmates. There's other people, so you're constantly comparing and making sure you're having the best deal, and then you measure your return on investment, and you have this entire business mentality that makes people feel actually quite shitty because they basically feel reduced to products. You know, where somebody will not want to accept the good because they're afraid of missing out on the perfect. That is the consumer mentality. What's the best deal I can get?
After previously being attracted to him, one small thing flips a switch, and the attraction disappears completely and irreversibly. It became a massive TikTok trend, with women proudly listing what gives them the ick. A man waving at a boat, a man being too eager, a man running funny, a man caring too much. Read that last one again. A
Running funny,
man caring
goddamn. So
too
they
much
must not like Steven
gives women
Seagal.
the ick. The same women who will tell you they want a man who is emotionally available, present, and invested are broadcasting on social media that a man caring too much makes them physically repulsed. That contradiction is not a bug in the system. It is the system. And Esther Perel, as a psychotherapist who has spent 20 years sitting across from these women, is about to tell you exactly what that means clinically. Let her cook.
I think we live in a culture of premature rejection. And part of this is because we are in a consumer society and we have brought consumerism to our romantic life.
What's up, Agatha?
So romantic
She says, "Happy
consumerism
Sunday
is
to
that
you.
you're
How you
looking for a
how
soulmate on an
is
app.
your evening going, sir?" It's going well. I'm
And
glad you came back, Agatha,
You're
because I
also
actually was gonna
constantly thinking that they may
bring
be
up
better
what you
soulmates.
asked me about the Ebola thing. So
There's
after
other
you brought
people.
up the
So you're
Ebola thing,
constantly comparing
I
and
saw
making
it,
sure you're having
I
the
believe
best deal.
yesterday, and so they're
And then you
saying that
measure your
the
return
Ebola
on
virus is making a
investment.
comeback.
And you have
But
this
that,
entire business
but where I saw it,
mentality
it was in
that makes
Africa. I
people
haven't
feel
seen
actually
anything
quite
about it here in
shitty
America.
because they basically feel reduced
So
to
I think
products.
you're
You
you're
know, where
safe because
somebody will not want to
the
accept the good because
the
they're
outbreak
afraid of
of
missing out on the
Ebola,
perfect.
I
That is
believe,
the consumer mentality. What's the
was
best deal
it
I can get?
Cameroon or Cameroon
So
or somewhere like
the
that,
ick
but
is a
it's
premature
not here in the
rejection.
U.S.
It's like
The
it's
scare
such
we
an
had in the
intolerance
U.S.
to
while
all
you were
discomfort.
overseas
The
was the whole
slightest
thing
little
with the
thing that you do
hantavirus
that I
for
didn't
those
like,
people that
nah.
were on a
You
you
know, I
know on
take
a
you out of the cart and put you
they
back
went
on
on
the
a
shelf.
cruise. It's always these
Knowing
cruise
yourself
ships
as
though
well
that's
as
bringing
you
in
pick your
fucking stuff.
girlfriend. Knowing yourself
Cruises
as
are
well
just like
as you
a
do.
haven
What
of
would you
just
say would make it hard to
disease and
live with?
illness, which is bad because those mostly a bunch of old
I'm
What
fucks
do
on those
you?
things
What's the
anyway.
most
Oh.
Take it to your girlfriend.
I was like, I'll tell you. No, I know.
You're always scared coming
Didn't
back. I
we
don't know
talk
why
about
you
that?
always
You're
worried
doing the
about
ick
some
factor.
disease when you come back. Ain't nothing
You
That's
popping
see,
off
very
over here.
you see,
interesting.
Like I said, the
Yeah.
only thing here was the hantavirus, and that was on that ship. And then the people who were on that ship where the hantavirus broke out got quarantined.
How many ick factors may this
So,
person have had with me that they have
but they're
chosen
good.
to
The only
overlook?
thing people didn't like
Because
was the
they've
fact
been
that they
really
decided to quarantine them here in the U.S.
I'm not the
instead
only
of
person making a
quarantining them
decision here.
Mhm.
offshore. But
That is
there's
very
been
funny
no
to think about, 'cause I
breakouts.
think about that nice man in my life, and I'm like, I probably have so many icks.
To diagnose the first time we met, it's
Elena
extremely challenging
Preston
because I have
779
this
is who's
other
talking in the
orientation
background.
and I want
I'm
to
watching
be
the YouTube channel Manosphere Highlights Daily. He's talking about there's a psychotherapist named Esther Perel, and she's going viral because she's telling women from a actual like clinical psychologist perspective the exact same uh, things that the manosphere has been saying for the past 10 years. But because it's coming from a white female clinical psychologist who's licensed and certified, it holds more weight when she's basically bringing up the same the same things that the people in the manosphere have been saying for like a decade now. It carries more weight because she actually has her her professional expertise um, to give it more credibility. So that's what you hear in the background. I'm not singing you no motherfucking birthday. You better drop my motherfucking super chat.
I'll tell you.
Again, you fucking clowns, all you fucking trolls, you retards, you autistic pieces of shit that need to go suck a dick because you're a bunch of fucking faggots. Don't ask me to perform anything on this live stream when you're not even dropping a super chat. I don't do shit for free for any motherfucker on here anymore. Did that shit 3-4 years ago. I ain't doing a motherfucking thing. I don't give a fuck if it's your birthday. I don't give a fuck. Go celebrate in real life with people who actually care about you, because I don't care about you. I would never be one of these content creators that go around telling people I love you. That is the lamest, gayest shit I ever seen these content creators do. Like, they don't like randomly telling their viewers You know I love you guys. You will never hear that shit from me. I don't care if you. I don't care if you drop $1 million. I'm never telling anyone I love I love the that I don't know. Man, y'all better go suck a dick and do it well, like from the rooter to the tutor, because nah, son. And don't ask me to shout out them. Look, I used the thing is I used to do a whole lot of shit. I used to drop knowledge for free. I gave people advice for free, all of that shit. And did one person drop a super chat? Did one person drop a cash app? No. So fuck you. So that's my word is bond. Straight like that. Because nah. I had some rich motherfucker I gave some relationship advice. He could at least drop like $10, $20, say, yo, thank you for the advice. Because he came back on my channel several times saying, yo, he really dropped some jewels. But if I'm dropping jewels, why don't you drop a few bucks? Say, hey, I know you like drinking coffee every day. Here's $10, $20. Go enjoy yourself a coffee or something like that. Or, I like I like fruit snacks, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So nah, I ain't just don't ask me to do anything unless you drop in a super chat. Like 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 the bro, like Big Bro did just 5 minutes ago. Damn right, like I said fruit snacks, boy. You motherfucking right. I like my fruit snacks, FWM SIFE. You think I'm fronting? You think I'm fronting? Fruit snacks. I don't front. I don't front when it comes to the fruit snacks, player. Boom. I don't front. I don't put on the airs. If I say something, I really like. If I say, go to the link in my description to buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. I'm legit. Like I legit drink coffee. People have seen it in the past, like in my previous live streams or videos. I'm sitting there drinking iced coffee. Or if I say I love fruit snacks, I really love fruit snacks. There's old live streams of me sitting there actually holding conversations with people eating fruit snacks. You know what I mean? I don't front with it. What am I? Yes. Someone said, hold on. And I don't care if people think I'm mean because I'd rather be mean than a chump. So that's what's up. And if your message is held for review, I'm not reviewing it straight like that. If the algorithm thinks uh it's not worth showing in the chat room, I'm not gonna open it. I'm not gonna even open it up for review. You're just gonna have to rephrase it. But Brooke Ripsaw said, "Yeah, you're fronting, bruv." No, I'm not. First of all, anyway, I'm not gonna rip on you for being British. I'm not gonna even rip on you. But nah, there's no fronting over here. Don't make me start talking like Big Daddy Kane. But yeah, nah, I don't front. Oh, Josh Johnson says, "Nah, dog, get the Black Forest snacks." No, I do like those, but you talking about the ones with the pause before I even say this. Pause. But those fruit snacks got the little juice that just squirts out when you bite into them. I don't know about all that. Like they're all right, you know what I mean. But you talking about the Black Forest ones with the little the liquid centers. They're all right. I do get those sometimes. The Mott's are cool. The ones people don't know about that are really good are the Fundables. The Fundables are actually the tastiest ones out of all of them. Kenneth Blackburn says, "Don't drink and drive instead." Comma, then it just trails off. FW says, "Now you tripping. You probably like the Scooby Doo gummies." If you talk about the fruit snacks, yeah, they're all right. I mean, they're pretty much all the same, right? I mean, you use a different mold, but it's pretty much the same ingredients. But again, I can eat what I want because I run 7 miles a day every morning. And if I don't do it in the morning, I'll do it in the afternoon or the evening. But either way, I run at least 7 miles a day. on top of my martial arts and my calisthenics and hitting the gym or doing MMA or Muay Thai. So yeah, I can eat whatever the hell I want because I burn off enough energy. How many of you can say by 6:30 in the morning if you've already burned, you've already ran over you've already burned like 1,000 calories. So every morning I start with a caloric deficit, so I can eat what I want. Mots are heat. Yeah. Uh, oh, these are not the ones with the juice inside. Yeah, but you might be talking about the Black Forest gummy bears, right? Because I know about those too. The Black Forest. I think they also make. Excuse me. I think they also make the gummy bears. I think. I think that's Black Forest. They make those expensive. If Black Forest, I can't remember if it's they or someone else, but if they make the gummy bears, those are like the expensive ones. Well, I might be thinking of the ones from Germany. I don't remember, but yeah, the the only Black Forest snacks I see when I go to the supermarket are the ones the juice inside. Pause. Just reggae. Hmm? Oh, by the way, Agatha is my moderator, so she will be booting some of the trolls out. FWM says Black Forest sounds like some organic stuff. It is. That's why they cost more because they're organic. So for folks who don't know, because I am a nerd and I'm a science and philosophy nerd, by the way, I'm gonna tell you if you one of those people that go to one of these that goes to Moms or one of those other sort of organic supermarkets, um, nothing wrong with going there because a lot of them have good foods there. But I'll tell you this: whether you go into a regular supermarket or one of those so-called organic supermarkets, if you are buying stuff because it's tagged organic, you are wasting your money. Not because those foods aren't good, but because there is no scientific credibility to inorganic versus not between or food designated organic and food that's not designated organic. Anyone who's has an inkling of knowledge and chemistry knows organic just refers to anything that contains carbon atoms, which means literally everything we consume is organic because it's all carbon based. Matter of fact, like when you take like if you're a life science major or a pre med major in when you were in college or undergrad in college, you had to take organic chemistry, which was the weed out class for people who wanted to be pre med. It was orgo or organic chemistry. That was the weed out class. You learned that everything biologically based, which includes all our food, all is organic. Then there was a separate class for inorganic chemistry. Now, I'm guessing that class was easier because I never heard pre med majors complain about the inorganic chemistry. They always complain about Orgo and Orgo 2, which is organic chemistry 1 and 2, because those were the weed out classes for the pre med majors. So I'm trying to save you folks money. Again, I drop free knowledge on you folks all the time. But just to let you know, if you go into the store just to buy organic food is not healthier than food that's not designated organic. It's just a marketing buzzword to get people to spend more money on clever marketing. And I work in marketing, so I know this for a fact. In my real world job. JJJ 43 Jesus RIP Michael Jordan. Don't play with me like that. Cause I'm gonna look that up. Don't play. Cause that is one of my childhood heroes. I will fight someone. Facebook on my MSN. Do, 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 do. Damn, these were $4.27 billion. Man, that the magic of compound interest. When you learn about compound interest, anyone when you learn about compound interest, that makes you like it makes you want to be a capitalist. Like I'm sorry, but anyway, that man is not dead. But yeah, as of 2 days ago, his net worth is 4.27 billion with a B. He said, "Not all gummies are different." I mean, yeah, no, don't think I'm a philistine about gummies, but you're being a, you're saying gummies. I'm saying fruit snacks. I don't classify fruit snacks and gummies as the same thing. Shout out to Joseph for the super GIF. Um, I don't. I separate gummy candies from fruit snacks. I don't consider them the same thing. Uh, Fruit snacks actually have actual uh, fruit and veggie juice in them. Like these, the ones I just showed you, they have real fruit and veggie juice. I don't put them in the same category as gummy candies because gummy snacks literally have no nutritional value whatsoever. The fruit snacks actually do have nutritional value. Gummy candies like gummy worms and gummy bears, which I do like, um, or the Sour Patch Kids, which I like. Um, but I rarely get them anymore because I'm like, nah, I gotta be grown. Like I every time I go to the supermarket, I gotta be like, I I don't always toe the line, but I try, and I walk past it like, no, I'm gonna get my fruit snacks. I'm not gonna buy any candy because yeah, I'll be tempted to buy, you know, either I love gummy candies like Sour Patch Kids, Skittles, Starburst. I remember when Skittles first came. This, I'm revealing my age here, but yeah, I remember when Skittles first came out, and that was such a big thing to get a pack of Skittles when I was little. Like I felt on top of the world when I got my little pack of Skittles when I was a kid. But yeah, I always loved gummy candies. But nowadays, this is why I buy fruit snacks because I know it's a more nutritious alternative to my predilection for gummy candies. Is a healthier alternative. But yeah, all gummies are different because again, the fruit snacks aren't gummy candies. They are of a higher category of snack. FWM says I run 2 miles. That's what's up. You should stay on that. Trader Blocks, what's up? Can I get a shout out? Well, that literally was FWM says David Goggins. I'm nowhere on David Goggins level. That man is an ultra. He was an ultra marathoner and a triathlete. A triathlete. I am not on that. Not on that time. He is my spirit animal. I'm trying to get to that point because I haven't even ran a full marathon yet. I've run a half marathon. I have not ran a full marathon yet. When I can run a full marathon, then, but even not then, I have to do an ultra marathon before I'm on that level of David Goggins. And usually an ultra marathon is usually at least 50 kilometers. To be an ultra marathon, it has to be at least 50 kilometers. I gotta do a full marathon first. And then on top of that, that man is in his 50s. And do you know that he just earlier this year, he re-enlisted into the military? He's a retired Navy SEAL. He's in his 50s. He went back into the military. This time he re-enlisted in the Air Force, and he's right now in their special warfare training center because he's in the pipeline to become an Air Force PJ in his 50s. Mind you, to become an Air Force PJ, which is special operations, is one of the special ops for the Air Force. The Air Force has about three different special ops units, like the PJs, Anyway, uh, uh, being an Air Force PJ, that stands for pararescue jumper. It's more, that pipeline is harder than the pipeline to become a Navy SEAL. It's harder, and he's doing it in his 50s, not his 20s when he became a Navy SEAL. He's doing it in his 50s. So that dude is my spirit animal. I wish I was on that David Goggins time. I'm not on that level yet, bro. Um, Someone said he was framed. I don't know what you talking about. PA Center County News. Uh, Bracioli says I have organic condoms. Well, you're gonna be an organic dad too. Food store says hi. What's up, food store? If I'm not saying that right, let me know. Michael 7450 says he funny. What's up, Carlton? He said smash the like and subscribe buttons. He said why did Cleveland Brown cut his hair? It's about to be a silly joke. Oh, Joseph Yang 90s. That was your full name, but I did get that shout out to you, Joseph. Thank you again. Oh yeah, Carlton. It was hella trolls in here, like 20 minutes ago. They left because I just simply ignored them. So I think it's better just straight up fail to acknowledge them than even they're more mad when you acknowledge them than when you roast them. Well, I mean, when you don't acknowledge them, when you roast them. I think a lot of them, because they're quasi retarded, they actually enjoy the roasting. So I rather just ignore them because when they can't get the attention that they don't get at home either, they want to blow their brains out. And I say go right on ahead with it, because you'll make the human race a better by your absence. So if you're a borderline retarded autistic troll whose only moment of glory in life is trolling content creators, yeah, go ahead and end it, because you'll be effectively rewarded with a Darwin Award for your troubles, and you will have improved the human population by your absence. So yeah, go right on ahead and do that. uh, Carlton says, yeah, looks like I'll have to start sending some trolls to the timeout corner. I know, right? Cheesy macaroni you says BMW or Toyota. Um, it depends on for what sort of vehicle. I mean, are you talking SUVs? You talking about sports cars? You talking about luxury cars? Um, talking about pickup trucks? Like, what are we talking about? I'm not. I'm not. Neither one of those brands really gets my, revs my gears up, pun intended. But um, I guess Toyota, just because I don't care about BMW as a luxury class of vehicles. If you said Mercedes, I would say Mercedes though. But BMW, Beamers don't do it for me. Pause. Carlin says the red flavor was my favorite Skittle. Could you really taste the difference? So I used to eat the handful of them, pause, and then I would eat the Skittles separately, and I really couldn't taste the difference in them. I think the only ones I could taste like a difference in the individual Skittle was the purple ones. I think those take like I could taste the grape, but couldn't really taste the. But for the most part, I really couldn't taste the individual differences between the colors. And do they even still have the red ones since they banned the red color? Because that red coloring is made from a bug, a beetle. That's where that red color, that artificial flavoring comes from, which is something uh, RFK Jr. banned because they put so many freaking they they the FDA allows so much poison in our food that they don't allow overseas. That's why they're so much healthier than us. Martin Wick, six Mercedes. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if it was between BMW and Mercedes or Mercedes and Toyota, I would have picked Mercedes either one because I like them as a brand. But BMW to me is like the Pepsi of European luxury cars. Like, I always felt like BMW was the Pepsi to Mercedes Coca Cola. Am I wrong to think that? RoboCop 10 says a guy went to the priest and said, "Father, I constantly hear a voice telling me what to do. Am I possessed?" He said, "No, son, you're married." Only in the West. Only in the yeah, only in the West. My Filipino wife does not give me problems. Like, but then, but then also I think it's because you know uh, black men in relationships are more egalitarian than men from other races because we grew up in a matriarchal community, and this was the debate I had with my friend on my video 2 weeks ago, and then he did kind of agree with me when I was saying, well, the families are matriarchal, even if guys still run things, but the family structures are very matriarchal in the black community. But this is why most of us are egalitarian. So being that I'm married to someone from the eastern hemisphere of the world, uh, I don't get problems. The only people that give me problems is my family, like my blood family, like my wife and my in-laws. Chill, mad chill. Lemon pepper or hot honey. I don't like either. I don't like either one like that, but I and Washington Marcus 8:30. I know you black because lemon pepper or hot honey. Those that's something I only see black people eat consuming like that. Because when I get my wings, I don't get either one. I get either the traditional buffalo wing sauce, the traditional buffalo wing flavor, or I get Texas barbecue. But if I had to choose between those two, um, I guess lemon pepper. But I don't like that sweetness to it, like to either one like that. Beer or wine, neither. I don't drink. Uh, Make me a mod. I don't even know who you are. I'm not making a random person a mod. Hamburger, a hot dog, hamburgers all day. Hamburgers. Love hamburgers. Um, Cheese or meat. Pause. 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 But uh, the animal meat. I had to say that because I don't want people to be like trying to clip me saying meat, and then they, you know how folks are. But yes, a red meat or preferably, yeah. I don't eat cheese other than pizza, and I don't like cheese on my burgers or sandwiches. Marriage or celibacy? Marriage, obviously. Like marriage or celibacy. That those are two extremes. I'm married. I'm choosing marriage all day. Carlin says, I don't blame them banning Skittles. We need more junk food ban. So I don't think they would ban the junk. I don't think they would ban Skittles, but I think you might not get that artificial food coloring anymore. Because like I said, it's actually made from the butt of a beetle. to give that red color flavoring. And even before RFK, I remember seeing that back in the 90s. I was looking at the artificial food coloring, and then I looked it up, and it said it was made from a bug, and I'm like, ew, what the hell is that? Shout out to who? Shout out to Miss Hamburger for the super gifs. Thank you, appreciate that. Uh, X of Robio says you look like Diddy. Hardly, hardly look like him. Again, I know you're a foreigner. You're either a foreigner or you're just someone who lives deep in Appalachia or Idaho because no one like I don't remotely look like Diddy. Like we don't look remotely alike. That's how I know you're some little foreign faggot because we don't look at all alike. It's just like people trying to say I look like Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. No, I don't. First of all, his real name is Giancarlo Esposito, which leads you to realize he is also half Italian. I don't look like him. Even in his younger years, I don't look like him. If you want to see what he looks like on his in his younger years, you can see him on Do the Right Thing or pretty much any Spike Lee movie from the late 80s to early 90s. Big task has a use of idiots. I know, right? Nah, but I gotta let that one. Oh yeah, yeah. It timed you out because of the emojis. Because if you spam the emojis, my AI moderator will automatically remove the message. But yeah, like I said, there's no way you would think I look remotely like puffy like Sean Combs, unless like I said, you're a foreigner or you like someone from where you've never seen black people. Like I said, deep deep up in Idaho. Get it deep up in Idaho. But anyway, or or somewhere in Appalachia. Hazel Eyes 86. What's up? But oh, and again, Miss Hamburger, thank you for the gifs. Appreciate it. Um, but yeah, like I said in the beginning, I don't mind people asking me questions. You can ask me questions all day. Just don't ask me to perform something on a live stream and you're not even dropping a super chat. That was my thing. Because people was asking me, yo, can you do a birthday shout out or yo, go hiccup or some weird stuff like that. Like, first of all, I'm not gonna do any hiccups. Like you need to be dropping a band. If you want me to perform anything remotely embarrassing, you need to drop a band. And I'm dead ass on that. Like if if you're not dropping a band, don't even ask me to do something embarrassing. Abdul Salam Ahmed uh, dash D5Y says Bible Quran, which is the deal. Like, can you rephrase that? I think you're trying to say Bible. Which one is the real deal? The Bible or the Quran? He said, which God, the place, the Christian, which that Islamic. Dude, I don't know if you're using Google Translate or you're just not or your English just isn't that up to par. But I don't know what you're asking. And frankly, you're probably asking the wrong person because I'm an atheist, and I'm gonna tell you both of those are equally equally dubious. Big task at hands is, can you imagine meeting someone from Idaho? What would that experience be like? Uh, Actually, I think I have. Like when I was in the army, it was, I came across a few Mormons, and I think one of them was from Idaho. I think he was from Idaho. He was either from Idaho or wasn't Colorado or Nevada. Um, I think he was from Idaho. That's the crazy thing in the army. Like you meet people from all over. Like meet hanging out with dudes from Puerto Rico, Native American, Asian, Caribbean. You know, people from the South, people from the Midwest, people from the East Coast like myself, people from the dirty, um, people from Cali, all over. Like and like I said, the dude in boot camp, like he was a Mormon. I think he was from Idaho. He wouldn't even cuss. Like the most he ever cussed was friggin'. Like he would complain a lot, but he would never cuss. He was like, "Man, it's friggin' cold out here, man. Got to be out here friggin' cold. And it's friggin' 5 a.m." Like that. That was the extent to which he cussed. Cause like I said, he was like a Mormon. He wouldn't cuss. Like friggin' was the most he ever cussed. Like friggin' was his way of saying this mother effing, you know. So, and I think he was from Idaho. I think. um, which team the God be blessed the dean? Wait, what? Dude, and I'm not gonna make fun of I'm not gonna make fun of the fact that your English is broken, but because the grammar is not there, I don't understand what you're trying to ask me. I know you're trying to ask me my opinions on Islamic faith versus Christian faith or whatever. I think that's generally the gist of what you're asking me, and what I'm going to tell you is not going to please you, which is that I don't put one above the other because find them both equally. Um, I find them both equally to be religious myths, basically. So that's the most I can tell you on that, is that I find both of them to be myths as far as the gods are concerned. Presumably, presumably the Judaic, the Christian, and an Islamic God are all the same God based on Yahweh, the original Judaic deity, who himself was based on a earlier pre uh, pre-Judaic uh, pagan gods. One was Yahweh, which was a a warrior storm god, sort of like Crumb and like Conan, but but yeah, but you had the Yahweh, who was this Levantine deity. Then you had another one who was El. El was actually the the king of a pantheon of gods, and he was like an elderly, more senior looking god, sort of like Zeus. And over time, the worship of El and the worship of Yahweh became one God, which became Yahweh or Jehovah, uh, or Allah. And I don't like it, they're just different flavors of the same. Those three different faiths are just different varieties of something that goes back to the same origins. Carlton asked him where is Abdul Salam from. But Tessa Hansen, but it took the army to meet someone from that state. Supposedly, I mean, being from New York City where I'm at and meeting someone randomly from Idaho. I mean, yeah, but you live New York, at least for the America. is probably the most diverse city in the U.S. and one of the most diverse in the world, but it's not the most diverse in the world. But I'll say it's one of the it's in the top 10, if not top 5. So you would if you I'm pretty sure if you walked around long enough uh in Manhattan, you'll find someone from Idaho. I guarantee you. I mean, you may not ever actually cross paths with said person from Idaho, but I'm just saying hypothetically speaking, just as a matter of probability is concerned, if you walk around long enough through New York City, especially Manhattan, you'll come across someone from Idaho. You won't know it unless you ask them, but if they're white and they're Christian, and then they're married. So yeah, this is how you can this. I'm gonna break it down how you can narrow it down, right? So they're white, they're Christian, they're married, they have multiple kids. Um, I don't know. I don't know any other stereotypes, but that would narrow it down quite a bit. And I don't mean Christian like Catholic Christian because there's a lot of Catholics in New York, just like they are here in Maryland. Like I think our two states probably hold the biggest amount of Catholics. Well, in Massachusetts and New Jersey as well. But yeah, uh, so they would have to be like they'll probably be either Mormon or either Mormon um or or some variety of Protestant. I was going to say like Baptist or Methodist, but I don't know out west what other what sort of Christian people would be. But if they're Mormon, that's even more likely that they're from Idaho. And if it's a guy, he more than likely has guns. As far as well to whatever extent you can have one in New York City, which is very restricted, to but if he owns guns, he's Mormon. um Christian. Oh no, so if he's Christian and Mormon, he owns guns, he's married, he's white, uh has multiple kids, he might be from Idaho. So, do you watch the NBA? Not really. Uh I haven't watched since the Kobe Bryant years. And even then I wasn't really watching. I was only watching because I had a friend that he would get bored. So he was like, "Yo, let's just like bet on the games who's gonna win." So I was always gonna ride or die bet on Kobe, which is like a safe bet, right? So that was last time I watched the NBA. That was like what? That was like 15 years ago. Spiffy Spence, what's up? He says, "Hey, Big Taz Hands, that's true. It's pretty diverse. Yeah, I wanted to live in New York, but not now. Not it's y'all, man. Y'all got nah. I mean, I'm not gonna go there because I don't know what your beliefs are, but with Zohar Mandani running the city, nah, I'm good. He said, "Where's your stomping grounds?" You mean stomping? You mean not stopping? Stomping grounds. TN, is that tonight? I don't go anywhere tonight. I'm actually about to get off in a few minutes. Um, I I'm surprised I let it go this late, but um, um, I don't do anything past 9 a.m. is the new midnight. I mean 9 p.m. is the new midnight, so I don't do anything after 8. You not you not get me to leave out the house. The only way I'm leaving out the house after 8 uh is either for is either like not even the movies anymore because I can go to an earlier movie. Um, if it's not an emergency, the only way I'm leaving out the house is for some pussy, and I'm married, so that's not gonna happen either. So if it ain't for pussy, I'm not leaving out the house after 8 p.m. I used to do it for the gym. I don't want to do it for the gym because when you go to the gym with other people, it takes longer. Pause. Like what would take an hour, what would be normally just an hour, ends up being 2 or 3 hours because you're hanging out with your homies. So nah, I don't run. I'm once after 8 p.m. I'm in the house. I'm done. There's no stomping grounds after 8 p.m. for me because 9 p.m. is the new midnight. So I'm done, son. Unless I'm over unless I'm like on vacation somewhere, like you know if there's like a nice nightlife going, like when I'm in Thailand and I want to hit Khao San Road, like if I'm in Thailand and I'm well Bangkok and I want to hit the Khao San Road at night, yeah, then I'm a check out the nightlife on Khao San Road, or I'm in Kuala Lumpur and I want to go to down to the Petronas Towers or something. But yeah, I mean, the only time you'll catch me out um chilling at night is if I'm on vacation. Other than that, I stay in the house. I keep my black ass in the house. I'm not trying to be out because I like to get up early in the morning. How it says New York is a melting pot. You'll meet races of people you never knew existed. That is true. Like I said, that's the great thing about the military. The same thing in the military, you will meet people from all walks of life that you would never meet. You'll meet people who are poor, people who are rich, people who live in you know buttfuck Mississippi. Then you'll meet someone who lived in the Hamptons of upstate New York. Like you meet people from all over, literally in the military, especially in the army, because the army is the largest branch of the military. So you're gonna get the army is gonna have the most diversity of people in it because hence if they're white and Christian, I would run. Nah, look, most of them are chill. The funny thing is, and I was talking about this to one of my bros. Yo, the biggest white supremacists are brown. Look, when you look at the people who go viral right now for being white supremacists, none of them are actual like the straight white. Like I think Chud the Builder is like the only example of like someone who's like actually white, who's like a supremacist. Let me see something. I'm actually gonna look that up because even the woman defending him on like I think her TikTok is gonna get demonetized if it hasn't already. But this chick calling herself Chud the Builder's big sister, that bitch isn't even white. Like she looks straight up Latina. You can tell like she got an olive complexion and all that shit. Fucking like the best known person right now is who? Nick Fuentes. That motherfucker's part Mexican. And if you think I'm making it up, go online and check it for yourself. He even admits he's part Mexican. Every big if you come across a white Christian, you're safe. Like I said, the biggest white supremacists out there are all brown. Nick Fuentes is part Mexican. Fucking Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit is a fucking Sudanese tether. Sneeko is like Haitian and Moroccan or some shit. Um, the bitch calling herself Chud to build his big sister is like fucking Latina. And the funny thing is, these bitch the racist white chicks are usually the ones who are most likely fucking black fucking BBC. which is I always found hilarious. Is that racist white chicks love black dick. It's sort of like how it's sort of like how ultra conservatives be always in the closet, suck, and you find out they're gay. So, it's like the same thing with these racist women, racist white women. You always find out they're like fucking like sucking black dick in the cut. I hate asking Bing anything. Shout out to Microsoft though, but they have the worst search. Like this search engine sucks. Switch it over to Google. But yeah, outside of Chud the Builder, like most white supremacists are all brown. Sneeko, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines. I guess it's true, Carlton. New York is really a melting pot. Carlton says after 8 p.m. the nonsense starts. Right. Remember, it used to be like late at night, but now because people don't go out late anymore, the nonsense starts around 8, 9 p.m. because everyone's trying to be in the house by 12. Who is Anvatika 4656 was hi, are you poor? What? 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 Yeah, let me close these blinds. Because they're blind to the fact you can't see what I can see. You're blind from the fact you're blind. Y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. Y'all not up on that. Anyway, Carter says the brown folks do be off the chain with their racism. It's like they're trying to prove themselves to society. Yeah, like I said, the most anti-black racism isn't even coming from white people anymore. It's coming from immigrants. It's coming from immigrants or the children of immigrants. This is why black people, by and large, have not been supporting these little protests against ICE. Black people, for the most part, are on their couch chilling. All these immigrants be like, the black people gotta come out and protest with us. We're all minorities, man. Fuck y'all. With everything in my heart, fuck all these illegal immigrants talking about black people need to support them. These immigrants be the most anti-black motherfuckers as soon as they come here to America because they think to assimilate into American culture they have to be anti-black. But what they don't fucking recognize, and I've said this a million times on my live streams and videos, and I'm gonna keep saying it because there's always someone new who hasn't heard this. But what a lot of recent migrants to this country don't understand is that y'all can be as anti-black as you want. You can assimilate into mainstream America as much as you want. Um, but here is the thing: you guys don't understand American history. You may learn American history, enough to get your citizenship or whatever, but there's an unspoken part of American history that you guys don't get unless you are actually from here, which is at the end of the day, I don't care how much black and white people go back and forth with each other. There's only two there's only two groups that are really considered like American indigenous, like American, white people and black people. That is it. And then to a lesser extent Native Americans, obviously. But the two groups who are considered like the foundation of America are just white people and black people. This is why black Americans have started calling themselves foundational black Americans, to separate us from the recent black immigrants who've come to the country and don't have our connection, uh, don't have our cultural history nor our lineage, because black Americans have their own unique lineage through what's called ethnogenesis. Actually, black Americans, or foundational black Americans, if you like, FBA, black Americans are a textbook example of ethnogenesis. So are Ashkenazi Jews or Armenians. These are these groups of people lineage all stem from having an organic ethnogenesis. They are textbook examples of ethnogenesis. So when people try to say black Americans or FBA, that's just a political movement or political identity or just a, or whatever, they're wrong, because it is a lineage, because it's based off ethnogenesis, which is a real phenomenon. And black Americans are a textbook example of it. And all these immigrants that come to the country, to the US, and they are on some anti-black bullshit, or their children are on some anti-black bullshit, don't understand, if shit pops off, at the end of the day, it's the black and Americans who are considered actual American. All these Asians and Indians and Latinos, they're not, they're, they're not considered American. And the funny thing is, some of the Latinos have been here before the, before the before the Europeans and blacks. Sorry, before the British, the British white people, because the Latinos came from Spain. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Like, even the Latinos aren't considered as American as whites and blacks. Like, we are the de facto Americans at the end of the day. So when all these brown people come here and they're on some white supremacist bullshit, we just give them the side eye, like y'all trying too hard to be something you're not. Because at the end of the day, if there was a race war and white people decided to kick everyone out of their treehouse, which is America, you guys are going before us. At the end of the day, the immigrants are going before us. They might try to kick us out as well, and they're gonna have a fight on their hands if they do. But trust me, all these immigrants are leaving before we do. Again, if there's a race war and all the whites say we're kicking all these non-white people out of our treehouse, which is America, trust me, all the immigrants are leaving first. Before black people, all the immigrants are leaving first. All you Asians who thought through the model minority myth that you guys were gonna, do better than us and whatever, you're gone. Indians, you're gone. Latinos, you're gone. The Native Americans, they can't send anywhere because this is where they at. Like, so the natives, I mean, I guess they could kick the natives out, but just because there's not enough natives here to fight back. But like, this is their home, they'll probably let them stay just by virtue of the fact that they were here first. Who knows? They might kick them out too. But trust me, the first ones to go are all the immigrants, not black people. So I always find it hilarious that all these white supremacists are fucking brown. And Ventica 4656 says, no, we don't prove ourselves to society. Yeah. Agatha says New York is very expensive to live now. Yep. And when Donnie thinks, oh, I'm just going to make all the billionaires pay for it with his pied-à-terre tax. Man, they're not paying that pied-à-terre tax. What they're going to do, look, it is a clever stroke saying, okay, instead of taxing your income, which means you're just going to leave. No, we're going to use this pied-à-terre tax and tax your property that you own here in New York City. It's still not going to work. And another thing is what people don't realize. They always try to vilify the rich. They already pay more in taxes than everyone else. I know people don't believe it because they always say, "Well, Warren Buffett pays less taxes than his secretary." How does that happen? Yeah, maybe in his on his income tax, but when you look at other taxes aside from the income tax, millionaires and billionaires pay way more than other people. Way more. This is why they always try and look for a way to pay less. They pay way more than the average person. Just because they find legal loopholes to pay less on their income taxes doesn't mean they aren't paying a lot of income tax on other things like property taxes and sales tax and even the damn what you call it tax, the what they like to colloquially call the death tax, the tax on whatever you call it. But yeah, they pay way more in taxes. So sitting there trying to use this, thinking this Pierre to Terre tax is going to pay for all these socialist programs he's trying to implement in New York City, that shit ain't gonna happen. And even right now, the funding that he has for all these programs are only going to last a year. He's going to have to find some clever ways to fund his initiatives throughout his 4 years in office. And there's our look. New York currently has the most billionaires per capita of any city in the world. Previously, it was Beijing, but it goes back and forth between New York City and Beijing. Right now, New York, because I stated a few weeks ago that Beijing has the most billionaires, but I didn't look at the most recent stats. By the most recent stats, is New York City has the most billionaires, but they go back and forth between Beijing and New York City. Anyway, New York City having the most billionaires per capita of any city in the world makes it one of the most expensive places to live as well because they raise the prices up for everyone else. And only and it shows like only very very well to do people can afford to live in the city anymore. A lot of the a lot of the people, and which is bad because you're not going to have us you can't have us you cannot sustain a city that only has rich people living there. You have to have a hierarchy, a social hierarchy within the city because you need poor people to do the jobs that need to get done. You know, landscaping, uh, uh, waste removal, very essential. When New York City went 2 weeks without waste removal because the workers were on strike, shit got really bad, and I'm pretty sure Agatha can testify to that as well as Big Task at Hand. And Vatika says people hate us Indians, but I never see any Indian worrying about this. I don't hate Indians, and I don't think most people hate Indians. What we don't like, what we didn't like, rather, was all the Indian call centers and scammers. That's what we didn't like. Uh, 3._2xd0 says, "Are you in the Philippines?" Not currently. I will be back there. I'm guessing you from the Philippines. Shout out. Big shout to the Philippines. Agus says we are being priced out of Brooklyn and the other group coming in now. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like when when you already have when you already have a place that's suffering from extreme income inequality, socialism never makes it better. It seems like the viable option because when you see a bunch of wealthy people basically like flaunting their wealth and you can barely make ends meet, it makes socialism seem more attractive, but it never makes anything better. It just makes stuff worse. It actually makes things more stratified, actually. And on top of that, ask yourself, why is it that most of these socialists are all wealthy? Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. Okay. Elizabeth Warren, a millionaire. Zohar Mondani, a millionaire. Who else is a famous socialist? Um, AOC, now she's a millionaire. She didn't start out that way, but now she's a millionaire. Ask yourself, why is it that it it just strikes me to be BS that the people who always are in support of socialism come from a higher social economic status, and that should make you already question it. Um, but anyway, Carlin says Brooklyn is expensive. Hell yeah, man! It ain't the Brooklyn of the '80s. Even by the even by the late '90s, you saw Brooklyn was being gentrified. Like you could see that back in the late '90s. I guess it's because Brooklyn is more peaceful, not as violent before them flowing back. It's so upsetting. He said, "What about Native Americans?" I did talk about Native Americans. You missed that part when I was talking about who are the most like at the end of the day black in America. So you understand, Native Americans didn't become American citizens till weren't included as American citizens to like the early. I'm gonna say like the early 20th century, like early 20th century. That's when they became American citizens. So, like I said, is white and black people they're considered essentially the most American of Americans. Like when people think of an American overseas, let's be honest, you're thinking of either a white person or a black person, and not any black person. You're thinking of a foundational black American. You're not thinking of a Jamaican. You're not thinking of a Nigerian. You're not thinking of some Dominican or Brazilian. You're thinking of a foundational black American, someone whose family probably uh, had ancestry. There were slaves in the American South. No one's think like you know, but yeah. Alan Kip Churcher says you got land. Yes, but not in America. Well, technically, my wife has land because I can't own land overseas. But yeah, Stacey Abrams says you won't go though to Burger King now. No, that's what DoorDash and Grubhub is for. He said my boy gonna get his 40 acres. Man, I don't even want the 40 acres. Just give me my cash reparations. That's what I want. Give me my cash in my hand, little man. Put that and do it. Jungle love. Oh we oh. Want to show ya. Let me stop. Let me stop. Maybe President Delphi's greetings from Panam? You mean Panama? He said stop stuttering. All right, now you on some bullshit. So yeah. Anyway, Carlin says if some type of civil unrest occurs and the brown people start wilding, I wouldn't be surprised when black and white Americans team up. Exactly. You actually had Nick Fuentes actually extended an olive branch to black people. And I would say, first of all, don't take it because he's basically asking black Americans to be in racial solidarity with him and other white supremacists against Jewish people. No, yeah, I might have a friend who might agree with his Nick Fuentes anti-Semitic stances, but I'm not for it, and I'm definitely not allying with someone who said they hate being living around black people. So fuck him and his quasi Mexican ass. Like, yeah, like I said, that's why these white supremacists are a joke. They're not even actual white people. They're fucking brown people, or or immigrants. Uh, Can y'all remove Alan because he sounds like a retard? I had the mistake of thinking he was a reasonable person. Three Dot says, "Don't worry, NYC has lots of poor people." Nah, are you are you in the U.S. right now? I mean, yeah, New York does, but that's what I'm saying. Most of them can't afford to live there anymore. Most of the people in New York are like the bridge and tunnel crew. Like they're not living in like the heart of New York, like in Manhattan or even in Brooklyn. Like most of them are coming from New Jersey, Connecticut, um, upstate. Um, they're not living in this. Like a lot of them are commuting. Like they're the bridge and tunnel crowd. Like they're either coming from the outer boroughs, and some of them aren't even coming from the outer boroughs. Like I said, they're coming from New Jersey, Connecticut, upstate New York. Like a lot of them don't live in the city anymore because the city is unaffordable for the average New Yorker. Like you need to be making at least six figures to afford to live in New York. Carlos says Anvatika said something about um hold up. Oh, Joe is back. Let me see that because I'm about to get off, but I want to hit all these last comments. Carlton said to Anvatika, "I saw your comment about never seeing a black person with a professional job. You have to be kidding, right?" Anvatika, well, I've been ignoring her messages because they started getting retarded. But I'm pretty sure she doesn't even. She lives in India or something. So I don't even care what she thinks anymore. Like if you're not from America, I really don't care what your opinion is on on American topics. That's my word for real. Like I don't come over to your countries. Well, no, well, not even that. I do come to your countries. And I do come in your countries. But anyway, um I'll I don't get what I'll say is I don't go to the content creators of people in other countries and speak on their social political issues because I am not someone who's well versed in all the nuances of those social political topics of their country. Not to mention, uh, it would just be off putting to sit there and talk trash on something of which I'm not well versed. It just comes off as stupid and ignorant. So, her saying she hasn't seen a black person with a professional job, I don't care what she thinks because she's not American. Obviously, you gotta be American for me to care what you think about American issues, unless I'm talking about international issues. On top of that, if she's ever seen a black person in India, that person is probably a professional because only professional black people can afford to travel to India on leisure. So anyway, three dot says go to Bronx, go to New York. They got ghettos. No, bruh, I know. I've been to New York. I lived in Philly. I lived in Baltimore. I know the East Coast. The fact that they have ghetto, you're missing my point, brother. Which is, I'm not saying there aren't poor people in New York City. What I'm saying is you're squeezing you. So I should be more specific. They're squeezing out the middle class. Okay, they are squeezing out the middle class, and the solution to that is not socialism. That was my point. Yes, there are ghettos and by the way, New York is in New Jersey, so that's not New York City. Yes, the Bronx has ghettos. Brooklyn has its ghettos, even though it's been pretty gentrified, pretty hard. Harlem is very gentrified right now. Like again, Harlem and Brooklyn were getting gentrified back in the '90s because I knew Harlem was being gentrified back in the '90s when Bill Clinton opened up his own office in Harlem. And people were like, oh shit, Bill Clinton moving into the, because that's when Hillary Clinton ran for senator. She became a U.S. senator in New York, and so that's when Bill and Hillary had their own office right there in Harlem. Three dots is socialism. He said three dot says Mondani is not a millionaire, but Bernie. No, look it up. Mondani is definitely a millionaire. What are you talking about, bro? He literally, look. He's literally a uh, um what do you call that shit? What do you what do you call it when you leave your inheritance to your kids? Like they used to talk about Bruce Wayne in the Dark Knight trilogy, trust fund. Zohar Mandani is a trust fund baby. He is definitely a millionaire. I don't know what you've heard, but if you don't believe me, we can look up his net worth right now. Because I don't know why you think he's not a billionaire. Yes, he is. I've never seen a socialist who I've almost never seen a socialist that either isn't wealthy or who doesn't come from a higher, at least an upper middle class income family. But okay, Copilot search says his net worth is estimated between 200 and 300,000 according to Forbes. So yeah, according to this, he's not a millionaire. But let's see, because it says he has assets in Uganda of between 150 and 250,000 dollars. Other investments, half of his $10,000 investment, retirement plan under 2,000. Blah, 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 blah. But okay, so according to this, he isn't. So I'll give you that. I will give you that because I will admit whenever I'm wrong. However, I do know another thing, which is that rich people are good at hiding their income because that is one of the ways that they can pay less in in taxable and showing that they have less taxable income is one of the ways, one of the loopholes of them beating the IRS every year. But I'm gonna look it up on Google too because I don't really trust Microsoft Copilot. To be honest, I think it's not a good search engine. Sorry, I've been watching too much Power Rangers. The old stuff. Okay, so yeah. So I went to Google. So its AI overview says he's roughly $200,000 net worth. So yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But again, yeah, you're right. He's not a millionaire, but Bernie and Warren definitely are. So you're right. Three dot. I learned something new. Although I still think he's hiding his. My suspicion, my suspicion here is that he's hiding his actual the full extent of his assets because it would make sense to do, and I would gladly. I would never if I could get away with people not knowing I'm a millionaire. I would like that too. I'd be like, nah, man, I don't own. Nah, I'm not a millionaire. I only got a net worth of 150, 200,000. Knowing I got like a eight or nine figure net worth, I would hide that to the look. Hell yeah, man. But anyway, uh, Joe Kinsey, what's up, bro? He said socialism for thee, but not for me. Yeah, like I said, even still, the point is Zohar Mandani is still his net worth is still someone who would be considered upper middle class, which it still goes to my point. Poor people don't support socialism because it doesn't work. Only people who don't have to worry about money think socialism is a good idea because they don't have to worry about money. They want to, like Joe Kinsey is saying, they want to preach socialism to everyone else while they live, while they live a privileged lifestyle. Even going back to Karl Marx himself, he wasn't fucking poor either, and he didn't even have to work. He was living off someone else's, and he was living off someone else's income. Like if the very like we got to be careful not to commit the genetic fallacy, which is we criticize a claim based on its origins and not on its veracity. However, we can see that there are red flags to a claim when the proponents of it live in a stark contrast to the claims that they want others to accept. That is relevant. A lot of inform so I'm giving you guys free game here on critical thinking skills. So a lot of informal logic fallacies, as opposed to formal logical fallacies, which are just usually a matter of logical syntactic structure and all that sort of stuff. Informal logical fallacies involve, the semantic content of a claim or whatever, right? And so usually it's based on whether the fallacy has relevancy or not, right? So whereas it is true enough that you can't simply dismiss a claim just off its origins. It can be relevant to it can be relevant ultimately to the probable truth of that claim, that it is that the proponents of it live in a way that seems in complete contrast to what they're trying to get other people to accept. If most socialists come from either a wealthy or upper middle class lifestyle, it should raise a red flag of how um, if the claims they're making hold weight, right? So no. Anyway, Three Dots says Trump got the IRS to audit Mondani and AOC. Neither of them are close to being millionaires. I don't know whether Trump got the IRS to audit them. Not even sure he can do that. But anyway, they even still, um, a public figure like a politician's net worth is public information. Like you don't get to be at that level, and now and when you're a public servant and think that your net worth is going to be hidden. Like for instance, like I said, I don't think Trump made that happen. I think this is just a matter of public figures' net worth is publicly available information. Like we know that Trump has gotten significantly richer since he's been in the White House, and I'm not mad at it. I don't care. A lot of people think that's bad. So what? The very first president of the U.S., George Washington, was was still owning real estate when he was in office. Shit, he was still owning slaves when he was in office. So you think I cared if Trump still got richer off his assets while he's in office? I don't care. the the very first president was a real estate mogul. Washington. So, you know, Nathaniel Del Angel says, "Hey, we look related. Are you Asian?" No, just have an Asian wife. It's funny though. My mom's old friend used to say she looked like the product of she looked like a Korean War baby, saying she looked half Asian, but no. Three S's go to Harlem, bro. Go to Brownsville. You name a place, I already know. Like when I was younger, I was completely enmeshed in New York City culture, so I know. Marcus, what's going on, big bro? He said, "Peace, brother." But Carlton wants his trust fund baby. But that is not false. Like, son, Mandani is a trust fund baby. Uh, Three Dots says Mandani has well off parents, but he hasn't inherited yet, which means he's still well off. Again, he never grew up struggling. My point still stands that no one who grew up struggling ever, like, people who grew up struggling did not embrace socialism. A lot of people from overseas end up like who come from like these socialist failed states usually come here and they are the strongest of capitalists like Cubans and Chinese and Vietnamese and Venezuelans and others. Like most of these people who come from these failed socialist states are the strongest capitalists when they come to America. He's not because he grew up wealthy. And to say, well, and it's, you're not helping the matters by saying, well, he's not rich, his parents are. It's the same thing. You don't grow you don't grow up with a rich parents and you're broke unless you're estranged from your family, which he was not. I'm no The point is no one wants to hear a rich. I'm gonna put this in crude language, and I'm not cussing at you, Three Dot, or anyone else here, but I'm gonna put this in crude language just to make it more salient. No one, no poor person wants to hear a motherfucker who grew up rich talking about socialism. So, uh, Carlos says Madani will be a millionaire when he leaves office. I guarantee it. Oh, I know. I already know. Joseph, socialism is great for those in charge, and man, Donnie, man, Donnie hasn't been there that long. Don't worry, he'll be a millionaire soon. Exactly. Like I say, yo, he's a trust fund baby. He's already rich. He just hasn't look. He just hasn't inherited it yet, or whatever. He's a trust fund baby. He's already rich. Three Dots says, yeah, definitely agree. Madani will be wealthy when he leaves office, but remember, 1 in 8 New Yorkers are net worth millionaires. Again, you're preaching to the choir. That you're making my point for me, Three Dot. I'm saying that New York is pretty much only affordable for wealthy people. Yes, there are some people who still live in the ghettos of many of the outer boroughs of New York City, but those places are shrinking because they're getting gentrified. Look, think of places like Brooklyn. Brooklyn was not gentrified like this back in the 80s. Like, yeah, you had some bohemian, you had your little bohemian people moving into the city. I mean, into Brooklyn back in the late 80s and early 90s. And like, yeah, by the late 90s, Brooklyn was gentrified, but you wouldn't have saw no white person walking around Brownsville, Brooklyn back in the 70s and 80s or in or Bed-Stuy. Hell no. Now they're all over those places, and that's slowly happening all throughout New York. It's happening in Baltimore. It's happening in D.C. It's happening in Philly. It's happening in Newark. So yeah. What's the APR on your mortgage? Why? But I think we pay a 3.75 fixed rate. I think it's 3.75 or 3.25. I gotta consult the wife because the cool thing is so they have a government program in the Philippines which is similar to the FHA here in America, and like what was it, like a year into having a house, maybe not even a year, because there was a something new going on with in the Philippine government. They called her in to refinance the house, and it went from like a 4 point. I think it was originally like four and a quarter or something like that, and they refinanced us down to like I think like three and a quarter, either three and a quarter, 3.75, something like that. So it was low. Get low, get low. Early birth races or the people that have no idea what the hell socialism is. That too. But again, this when I was defending Gen Z, and I was like, you can't be mad at them uh for being ecstatic for socialism because one, they didn't grow up during the Cold War era like the boomers and Gen X did, or even the older millennials. Like the older millennials, definitely Gen X, and the baby boomers, we all grew up during the Cold War era, basically from the 1950s to 1991. They didn't. So that's one thing. And then two, you have a lot of left wing educators you know that push these socialist ideas in public education. And then three, the big I think three, which is I think the biggest part of this why they embrace socialism, is because you got ultra wealthy people flashing their big money dicks in everyone's face. When you got people who are so fucking rich they don't have nothing else better to do than to build millionaire millionaire emergency bunkers like that dickhead Mark Zuckerberg, or create rockets to outer space like Bezos and Elon and Richard Branson or whatever, or whoever it was. When you got three different billionaires who got nothing else better to do than start making dick rockets to go into space. Because I guarantee, if Sigmund Freud was still alive today, I'm pretty sure he would say that there's something going on with these space rockets and you know uh the whole phallus envy and all. Anyway, he would have a whole Freud would have a whole master class on phallic symbols, and the fact that the richest people in the world now want to build rockets into outer space which just happen to look like dicks. Freud would have a field day with that shit. Is But yeah, if you don't want younger people to embrace socialism, early bird, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general to everyone listening, if people don't, if folks don't want younger people embracing socialism, stop letting ultra wealthy people um, get away with um, measures that increase extreme income inequality while flashing all their wealth and opulence on social media. That makes people want to embrace socialism when they see ultra wealthy people like just flashing their big money dicks all the time, all over social media. That makes people embrace socialism. Like, man, fuck them. So anyway, three dots says socialism is bad, but median U.S. net worth in America is 192,000. Mandani is close to the median American. I'm sorry, but you are incorrect about Mandani, good sir. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. What part am I wrong about? 200,000. Look, two. He's worth about $200,000. The average American is not worth $200,000. And you're saying median. like we need to establish the three different types of averages: mean, median, and mode. Median is not a good measure because median is not a good measure of the average American because wealth is not is not wealth is not normally distributed amongst the general population. Like this is like one of the first things you learn in statistics is that wealth is not wealth does not fall on a normal distribution curve. Things that fall on a normal distribution curve are things like height and weight and IQ, things like this. Wealth does not fall on a normal distribution curve. It usually falls on something like I think like a binomial curve or something like that. But uh, if you look at a random distribution of wealth amongst the general population, it is not a normal distribution curve or the so-called bell curve. So median is a disingenuous way of measuring wealth in America because because that does not speak to the average American. You're clumping people with extreme wealth with people of extreme poverty and just cutting the average from that instead of using the mean average, which again is still no. You are wrong, sir. I know stats pretty well, and one of the things I do know is that wealth is not normally distributed amongst the general population. Someone worth what Mondani is worth does not speak for the average American. Simply doesn't. For instance, the average American's income is around 50,000. So early versus many people that support socialism have no idea what it entails. Yeah, we already went over that, and I agree. Uh, philosophing dot DG60 wise is Shalom Shabbat. Uh, three dots should we be skeptical of Trump since he came from wealth? You, no, he's not. Okay, you're missing my point here. I'm not saying you should be skeptical of someone just because they're wealthy. That's not my point. Number two, Trump is not pushing socialism. Three, the point I'm making is that all the major proponents of socialism are either from the upper middle class or they're wealthy, which is a red flag on that view that only wealth there is wealthy people who are pushing this idea onto everyone else, which is what happened in these other countries that became failed states, is that they became dystopian societies because the end goal of socialism is communism, which is a utopia. The problem with utopias are utopias aren't real, cannot be real. And every country that has tried to enforce socialism through force to get to the end goal of communism has ended up in mass murder and genocide and extreme poverty and hunger because it doesn't work. Socialism tried in real life tests for the past 100 years have always failed. They either became these autocratic hellscapes or failed states. So you have real life tests of socialism across the world for the past 100 years, and they have always failed. And you have the fact that the people who try to push socialism in Western countries are all wealthy themselves. None of them are poor. Again, Karl Marx himself was not poor, and he was living off someone else's income while he was writing his books. He was not a good philosopher. Greta Hoffman says, hello, I'm an Atlantic Herring, sorry. What's up? Three Dots is Washington on slaves, boy. I what? I literally said that several minutes ago. I literally said that. You're saying you're trying to beat me. You're trying to beat me on a point that I already made. You're not listening carefully. I literally said Washington was already a real estate mogul, and on top of that, he owned slaves. So why are you gonna sit there and talk about Trump? Like you're trying to. All right, you're just trying to be combative, and you're not making good points. And you're basically moving the goalpost because I defeated you on your previous point where you tried to say Mondani is the average American. No, he fucking isn't. The average American does not have a $200 net worth, a $200,000 net worth. That's bullshit. And you can't base off of the median income of Americans because again, wealth is not normally distributed amongst the general population. Wealth is not something that's normally distributed in any nation. That's not that's not how it works. And you're just trying to move the goalpost now to to obfuscate from the fact that I just proved you wrong. Anyway, since I see a bunch of retarded people making comments here, I'm just going to ignore them. Manso Carlos 7682 says black women are Latinas. Neither. Asian. If it ain't Asian, I ain't chasing. If she ain't an ABG, she ain't the one for me. If she not squinting, I'm not sprinting. If my dog ain't in danger, she a stranger. If it ain't rice, it ain't nice. Either gotta be Asian or snow bunny. Either rice bunnies or snow bunnies. That's it. Snow rice bunnies forever. Black queens never. I'm joking. I'm joking. but nah, if it ain't Asian or white, it ain't right. If it ain't Asian, I ain't chasing. The, uh, anyway, so it looked like it's just a bunch of retards. So anyway, I'm gone. It's late as fuck. So I'm out, guys. Peace. Finish watching my man like go watch Manosphere highlights daily. That's what I'm about to go finish while I get ready for bed. Peace.